say we shouldn't have negative conversations in front of children. We should shield them. We should protect them. But sometimes it's in their best interest to know who's good for them and who's not good for them, which uncle to stay away from, which brother to stay away from sometimes. Not every family situation is ideal, you know? And sometimes parents don't want to hear. Sometimes children come and say, you know, my brother did this, or my sister did this, or this one did this, or this one. And he said, I don't want to hear it. Stop talking. I don't want to deal with anything. You know, a friend of mine used to say back, he was from Algeria, and he used to say that they, you know, they have joint family system. So they've got the guy living there, his wife is living there, their kids are living there, his brother's living there, his wife and their kids. There's like 30 kids in the house, and there's like 4 or 5 different couples, and they're all fighting, and all kinds of drama is happening all day in the house. But then the grandfather walks home, and everybody's happy all of a sudden. All the problems are gone because the grandfather had a policy: if anybody has any fight, I'm going to line all of you up and slap all of you. The fathers, the mothers, the children, everybody's going to get slapped. So by the time the grandpa came home, all the problems in the family are resolved. That's clearly not Islam, but it apparently works for their family. The idea being, sometimes we don't want to hear it, or we don't want to deal with a conflict that actually exists. Sometimes there are members of our family that have a problem, that have an anger problem, that have a jealousy problem, that have a verbal abuse problem. Sometimes they have a physical abuse problem. Sometimes they have a scheming and lying problem. People have problems. And who knows family better than family? And so if you have to look out for someone, sometimes you even have to look out for your own sibling. It happens. And this father has the sense to know, listen, you need to look out for your brothers. You don't be naive. You're young, they're older, but don't talk about these kinds of things with them. لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك. Because they might hurt you in some way. And it's not their fault entirely. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لِلْإِنسَانِ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. The devil is a pretty big enemy, pretty open enemy for human beings. The devil can come anywhere. The devil's not just there between you and some stranger. The devil wants to destroy family relationships. He wants to create animosity between brother and brother, brother and sister, father and son, mother and child, mother and daughter, mother and son, etc. These family relationships is where the shaitan is active. That's what he wants to destroy first. What's the best way to destroy humanity? Destroy the unit that holds humanity together. The unit that holds humanity together is the family. So the shaitan is most active in the family. He's most active between parents and kids. He's most active between husband and wife or siblings. That's where he's most active. These blood ties or these sacred ties, that's what he wants to destroy first. If these are destroyed, what's left of humanity? Then it's all gone. And then there's the shelter, the protection that family brings is gone. And so he's successful in his scheme. So first thing that Yaqub tells his son is what to be careful about. And that's again something we learn about us and our children. We have to warn our kids about things they should be careful about. And we should also be warning our kids about people in our own family sometimes that may be toxic. That's important. It's actually a sunnah of a prophet now. It's a sunnah so important it was recorded in the Quran. To let our kids know, sometimes, not everybody in the family is okay. And Ramadan happens, and after Ramadan, Eid happens, and Eid, all the family gets together, and some of the crazy uncles come too, and some of the wild cousins come too, and some of the, everybody's together. And sometimes you got to let your kids know ahead of time, here's the people you got to stay away from. Here's what you have to be careful about. And you have to warn them and educate them. It's the real world, you have to prepare them. So our kids are not naive, and they don't just, in their naivete, trust anybody. Because anybody can harm them. And if this surah in the beginning teaches us anything, is that family is not necessarily a safe place. His own brothers are the ones that kidnapped him, isn't it? His own brothers are the ones that threw him in a well. His own brothers are the ones that were trying to kill him. So it's not always the case that just because someone's family, oh, it's okay, they're with their cousin, it's okay. Oh, it's okay, it's just their uncle. No, don't be naive. That's something even the Quran is telling us in very explicit terms. So that's the first thing. But more importantly, what I wanted to focus my khutbah on today with you is what he says next and what impact it has. He says, وَكَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ. That is how Allah has especially